Today, I'm going to reveal my top signs that you need to set boundaries so you can identify early on when people don't respect your boundaries and take action to resolve the issue. Hi, and welcome back to another segment of Triple T where I reveal my top tips and tricks to help you excel at work and reach your highest potential. I'm Allie, and today I'm going to share with you my top signs that you need to set boundaries at work. It's important that you know when it's time to start setting boundaries because I found that people with weak or no boundaries tend to be taken advantage of the most in their office. And there are many possible reasons why. Some people fear that saying no will hurt their careers. Others hate letting other people down. And there are even some people who feel inclined to help anyone who asks. The problem with this is that by allowing others to walk all over you, you're setting yourself up for failure. Eventually, you're going to become burnt out and unproductive from taking on too much work. And you don't deserve that. Your time is valuable and should be spent working on tasks that are relevant to you and being successful at work. And to help you achieve that, I'm going to share with you some of these signs I often see when people are having their boundaries overstepped at work. Before I reveal the signs, I'm curious to know, has someone ever overstepped your boundaries at work? If so, what signs let you know that you need to start reinforcing those boundaries? And once you have an answer, make sure to share it in the comments below for me to see. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and grab a drink, and we'll get started. Sign 1, uncomfortable. Have you started to notice lately that you feel uneasy whenever people ask you to do something on top of your other work? Maybe you get a little nervous whenever you see someone approach your desk or send an urgent email. This is because deep down you know that taking on this extra responsibility means working long hours at the office or taking your work home with you. So if you start to get a little uncomfortable about a request at work, then it may be a sign that someone isn't respecting your boundaries and you need to start reinforcing them. Sign 2, complain in secret. People with no boundaries have a habit of agreeing to things they don't want to do and then complaining about it the second they're alone. And it's understandable why. You're tired of being interrupted and ultimately persuaded into doing other people's tasks when you have other things you have to do. So if you start to notice that you grumble after a request is made or you reach for your phone to complain to a friend or significant other, then it may be a sign that you need to set some boundaries. Sign 3, feel anger and resentment. When you have people constantly disregarding your boundaries, at some point you're going to feel resentful towards those people. The problem is that these negative feelings will silently continue to grow until you snap, which will only create more conflict and possibly ruin your reputation at work. So if things have gotten bad enough to where you're angry and even resentful towards the people who make these demands of you, then for your own sake, you need to set some boundaries. Sign 4, always say yes. Looking back, how many times have you said no to a work request? You could probably count the number of times on one hand, right? Well, people with no boundaries struggle to say no, and it's because they don't want to face any repercussions for the refusal to do something. That's why they always habitually say yes to requests. It's quick and avoids conflict with other people. So if you have a habit of saying yes to the majority, if not all requests that come your way, then it may be a sign that you need to start setting some boundaries by saying no. Sign 5, people go to you first. Following the previous sign, people with no boundaries also tend to be the first people that others go to for help. And this is because you said yes to so many requests at this point that people instinctively know that they can save some time scurrying around by going to you first. So if you started to notice that you're the go-to person whenever someone needs to get something done, then it may be a sign that you need to set some boundaries. Sign 6, unproductive. When people take on too many requests, they may start to notice their own work piling up with them and even struggle to reach their own deadlines. That's because at this point, you're now spending more time completing other people's work, which is great for them, but unproductive for you. So take a look at your schedule the past couple of weeks. Whose work have you been prioritizing? If most of your time has been spent completing other people's work, then it may be a sign that you need to start setting some boundaries. Sign 7, people pleaser. Do you feel guilty if you have to deny someone their request? Maybe you have an emotional need to make others happy. If this is something you can relate to, then you're probably a people pleaser. Although there's nothing wrong with wanting to step in and help others out, it does become a problem when it starts being a detriment to your work and well-being. So be honest with yourself. Are you a people pleaser, and has this resulted in you agreeing to do things you shouldn't be doing? If so, then it may be a sign that you need to set some boundaries. And there you have it, my top signs for when it's time to set some boundaries. Use these signs so you can identify early on when people don't respect your boundaries and take action to resolve the issue. Now, if you found that you have at least a couple of these signs, then it may be time to start setting some boundaries. But to do this effectively, you'll want to make sure you utilize the right strategies. So make sure to stay tuned for my next video where I reveal my best strategies for setting healthy boundaries at work. And before you click away, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right there. It helps me get my videos out there and lets you know when I release new content. Otherwise, it's been great having you today. Until we drink again, take it easy. Bye.